afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Omlata Bhagat, Additional Professor in Department of Physiology at AIIMS Jodhpur. So, in last 2 days, read, uh, you've read about and listened Dr. Bharti and Dr. Abhinav about the research and the title, how to select it, how to go about the research, and then the ethics involved. After that, once we are ready with the research question and the area of research where we have to start our research, the next thing and know about the ethical things which are important in that area, we have to go for writing our review of literature. Once we, so what we have to do is, first, in this session, we will try to understand the review of literature, its definition, the content, and apprehend the need of literature review. Enumerate the steps and proceed to do the literature review. Then we will try to look for some databases like PubMed and how to use them. And then in the end, I will introduce you to the Zotero for cataloging and using it for creating the bibliography. So now we all know these are the research, steps of research, we all know that. And I just want to emphasize that review of literature is almost the starting point of the research, and it is in the end of it as well. So it is very important, not only as a part, but as a continuum research review is important. So what is literature review? So a systematic, this is a definition. We all know that definitions looks very glorifying to us, and sometimes we don't understand. So let's decipher it a little. What it says, it's a systematic, explicit, and reproducible method to identify, evaluate, and synthesize the idea depending on the existing body of completed or recorded work, that is available literature. And who has given us all this available literature? The experts, the researchers, the scholars, and other people who are working in that particular area. So, in short, we can say it is a comprehensive summary of previous research on a topic, and which helps you contextualizing a research study. Right? So now, what is the need of the literature search? Why do we do it? To have a clear grasp of available information about your field. Once that is there, you have to know what is already known and what methods have been used to gauge that in the field, who is the giant. You have to actually critically assessing the major contributions. Then you have to understand that you should not be doing something which is already been done, and therefore your efforts become redundant. And last but not the least, it exposes the gap to fill in the available literature to help you position your research. This is the main thing, and that's the key of doing the literature search. Now, where to start? We all have gone to something called as Google Scholar. Have you ever noticed the motto or theme? It's a stand on the shoulders of giants. So, scholar is easy thing and convenient to start off. Once we search things, then we must look for what is important is your citation. How many people have cited the literature, the particular article? That suggests that in these two, the first one is more cited. So there is preferably to be included in our thing, and we should start from there. Then, what next? We have to ask certain questions to start with. That means, how much literature do I need to look at? Don't look too much and neither too scanty. Appropriate. If you are writing a review literature, people will not consider it as a good review if you just cite 6 or 7 papers. And if you are writing short communication and if you are giving 50 literatures or the articles to cite, people actually will not take it as well. So you have to decide how much you need. Then how far back do you need to go? Like if I'm doing this research here at in 2020 and all my cited literature will be somewhere in the last century, in 94, 95, that is not right. And if it is important, you should be very clear about it. If it is very important study, you can cite a study from the last century as well. So this is you who have to decide how far back do I need to go in the literature. Then what all areas of your field and subtopics you have to explore. What literature provides a framework to your research is important. So you have to ask yourself, is what literature provide a framework for my research? If that literature is there, go ahead. If not, then try to avoid that area. Second is once we are deciding on the particular study, we usually are doing the original research and the experimental or quasi-experimental studies. So therefore, we have to understand about the instrument we are using, methodology we are doing for using for the study. So which particular instrument we are going to use? So literature related, that is important. Articles quoting the same methodology, using the same methodology are also important. You should be asking this question before starting. Once you have made your mind clearly, then you have to go for a statement of research problem. For selecting the research problem, you have to use the finer criteria: feasibility, interest, novelty, is it ethical or not, it is relevant or not. For analyzing a research problem, you should go for the PICO guidelines. The population, patient or problem. I stands for intervention, exposure and C stands for comparison, O stands for outcome. These are already been discussed by Dr. Bharti in previous lectures. So now what? We have our statement of research problem ready. What next? Now we have to, with that, keeping in mind your research problem, we have to consider a central research question and come up with keywords. After that, you should ask for your colleagues, your classmates, go to your teachers and seniors for recommendations, draw up your bibliography, and once you are ready with everything, now you have got to go. अभी जाना कहाँ है, where we need to go, how to start. So where are the platforms? In this digital world, there are so many platforms available. Google Scholar, PubMed, Medline, Embase, Scopus, InMed, you name it, and there are many more and more. But we usually do it on PubMed, and because that's the easiest to reach, free of cost, and very, very relevant to the medical field, right? So, how to search? We have the central research question. Pick your keywords carefully because keywords are important. Everything goes around those keywords. And the databases also tag each and every article to certain keywords. If your keywords are right, you will get the relevant literature, right? Then is your search portal appropriate? There are n number of search portals. Are you using the right one where you will get most of your content of your relevant thing? If you are doing a research in psychology, you can go for the Psychonet, and that is the appropriate one. Whereas if you are doing it for maybe for social sciences, JSTOR is a better one. For medical research, PubMed is good. Make a probable list of journals to search. This is a database of millions of the articles and more. So it can give you n number of articles. So you should be very clear about the journals to search. Do some homework. And in that also you have to understand that the work which is important usually cited more. So now let's start and try to see how we do PubMed search. We all have gone to this website. Every one of us have seen it. Have you ever tried to go to this login? Go to login. And I will say before starting your search, please log yourself in, register. What has that give you an advantage? It gives you an advantage of having a dashboard at NCBI. And this dashboard gives you many more things and services. So that is something your dashboards look like. Here you can filter, set up the filters and see what you want to search. And you can actually restrict the available or the number of articles retrieved. You can save your searches. You can see your own recent activities, so that even if you have not saved your search, but you can come back and you can see that, okay, what you have done maybe few days back. You can make collections. You can make collections, name them, save them, and then you can retrieve it after years also. And also you can make your own bibliography. Apart from it, it gives you access to many other databases under NCBI. Right? Now, let's start. In Dr. Bharti's lecture, she has given us the research question. Can we detect airway narrowing in asymptomatic school children through PEFR measurement? So let's start with the keyword PEFR. And we all know that PEFR and peak expiratory flow rate is usually used interchangeably. So is it important to understand that to use the PFR or the peak expiratory flow rate while we are searching? Let's see. If you write search box PFR, you are getting 8,341 results. When you are searching with the help of the peak expiratory flow rate, the number changes. Therefore, it is important to see what and select what you are entering in your search box. Now, for this, we need some Boolean operators because we are not searching for only one keyword. We will be having more than one keywords. What are the Boolean operators? There are three Boolean operators, that is and, or not. So your and gives you the content where it has both the keywords, or will give you all the literature which either have the one of the keywords, and not is giving you the articles which have one keyword but not the other keyword. So that other keyword will be excluded. Right? Now let's use them. Now we are putting up the heart rate variability and asthma as the keywords. Right? So here we are using the Boolean operator and you can see we got the 294 results. When we do it with or, we have more than 2 lakh. Yeah. Then if you use not, then it is 48,000. You can see that these work. Now let's have what to go forward. What is important is how you are selecting your keywords. Pick them very carefully. Use appropriate Boolean operators, and then once we have so many articles, we have to refine our search results. When we go down to our thing, we realize that though we have put in the heart rate variability as a parameter, as a keyword, it is picking up either of the 3 words this keyword has. So, what to do? What you have to do is you have to use quotes. That quote will take more than one word as a phrase and search it. Now you can see when I have used the heart rate variability in quotes, just 99 results are having heart rate variability and asthma in there, right? Whereas we all have seen that when we have not used the quote, it was 294. Now, what next? Use wildcard. This asterisk or star or a sign which we use for multiplication is being used as. What you have to do is you have to use it by putting it in the text box, and you can see that pranayam and pranayama, though the After M, there is a A. So anything after M is there is being picked up. Like management, if you are right, manage with asterisk, you will get managing, management, manager. All these terms will be picked up. So this is right. Now we have to search this, and we should be knowing that there are certain other filters which are always available on your right side of the screen or your or the left side of you, right? Then we should understand a little bit about advanced search. When you go for the advanced search, you can select which area you want to see. Therefore, it also has your Boolean operators in them. So if you, and then you can make a query, proper query in the query box like this, where I have decided to take heart rate variability anywhere in the all fields, Bhagat O as an author, and slow deep breathing in the type. Therefore, I can retrieve one or two or maybe the selective articles which I can get, right? The important thing to know is the mesh. Mesh is medical subject heading. If you use the mesh, then it is very likely, because these are the terms from which all the articles are being tagged. It is very likely that you get your answer, right? And you need not to go back. You can make your own search filter here. Here you have your you can add them, and you can use whatever Boolean operators you want. You can add here, right? There are something called as limits, so you can go for limits as well, right? Now what? We have our data, we have everything available to us. So what? How to assess? University databases are good databases. Related dissertations are good. But apart from that, we are having so many articles. So how to assess them? There is one thing called as snowballing. You can use that. What is snowballing? You have to select the core articles which are cited the most, right? Then go to their references and bibliography. Try to understand the foundation of work and search for the cross references. Once you have all the data, what to do? It's more than what you have thought about. You thought that you will get 50. Okay, 50 articles I can manage, but they are 4,000 or 48,000. I have selected few, but still it is more than 300. What to do? We have to log all the reference information. But where? How? So there are n number of reference managers which are softwares are there. Most importantly, Zotero and Mendeley are being used. They are free of cost and you can use any of them. But remember, use one which is popular amongst your collaborator and team workers. That will make your life easier and their life easier as well, because you can collaborate on that platform easily and your manuscript can be edited conveniently. You have Mendeley, go and download. I am going into the details of Zotero because I am convenient. I feel this is more convenient and my collaborators use Zotero more than the Mendeley. So I have to download the Zotero as such and then the plugin, word processor plugin. Once I have downloaded the Zotero desktop app, and the word plugin. You can have the Zotero, and then you open your browser window. In your browser window, you will have the Z available. Most convenient is the Firefox, but there are many other, this is now used for other browsing platform as well. Zotero is available for Chrome, Zotero is available for the Internet Explorer as well. So, but I still recommend to use it on Firefox, right? Then you can see that when you install the plugin, this extra tab is available to you in the name of Zotero, right? And you have all these things which you can do in this tab. Now let's do how to do it. This is your icon when you are searching on PubMed. When you click this icon, this will give you a box and you can select which articles you can use. So your Zotero extension helps you directly save the citations into the Zotero. Once you use them, select them, they are in your Zotero desktop app. Now you are ready to cite them in your review. There are not just articles which we are looking for, there are many types of literature. Articles we are very conveniently look for. Books, monographs, e-books, reference books, then you have data, and apart from this, we have the gray literature, which is your conference proceedings, white papers, dissertations, research, patents, published reports, and government guidelines. You need to cite them as well if they are really important to your study. I'm not going into detail. Now we have all the information logged in. Now we have to evaluate. So when was the information published and is that important to know? Is the first question you need to ask. If it is published recently and it is important to your study, yes, you have to keep it. How relevant the information to your needs? Who is the author and what are their intentions? Maybe there is a study which is published in a good journal, but the manufacturer of the particular device is the author of the study, which is stating that this device is very good and very efficient. You have to look for it, right? You have to look at it with the pinch of salt. Then, was the information peer reviewed? How reliable is the information? Was there any error in it? How many citations it has? Is it a well-balanced, dependent piece of research or intended to sell a product or idea? So once you evaluate this information, you can select out of those 200 articles how many you have to select, right? Once you select those articles, you have to catalog all your literature. You can use it on previously we used to do it on cards. Now I am using the Excel sheet. But use any method you want. Text, keynote, numbers, Excel, any other platform. But you should be cataloging it and have so that you can have all the information easily available, like year, date, journal, key points, note, methods used, n number, key variables, types, and conclusion or any other thing, right? Once you've cataloged everything, You have to actually read everything in it. Now you have some 100 articles to read. Read them thoroughly and actively. Just don't read like a novel. You have to read them properly. Go in and analytically. What are you looking for in that particular article? Have keywords in your mind and mark them in the article. Compare it with the other study or pieces you read. Make a note of important points. Share it with someone and talk about it. Right? Once you are done with it, you have to synthesize all the information you have. You have so many information. You have read 100 articles, and in the 100 articles, so much of information is there. You have now what? Should I write the review of literature outright? No. Synthesize the information. And how to synthesize? Just ask yourself a few questions. How does the research answering your question? How does it all fits together? What do scholars or studies say about your topic? What are the ongoing debates within your topic? Who is agreeing and who is disagreeing, and about what? What ideas do you agree or disagree with? Why and why not? What has not been said about your topic? This is very important to understand what is not being said about your topic. Hooray, you have got your area being having relevance to the valuable system, right? Now what? Ask them again. Now take a step back. Try to combine all the information in a cohesive narrative. Do mind mapping using software or manually on a piece of paper. This is something like a mind map. Introduce your topic, decide your topics which are clear, precise, and go for the subtopics. Go for how you are doing it, whether you are drawing some images. Use different colors to identify. Make a tree, branching, sub-branching. Give your keywords, set them properly. Where are they associated, right? Once you've done your mind mapping, what to do? Write your review of literature. No, don't rush into writing a review of literature. Strong review must encompasses everything. Digest and synthesize your information. Is everything there? Look for the lacuna. Expose or open the gap in the knowledge available. Position yourself in that gap. The important is position yourself in that gap. Once you've done that, you are ready for writing your review. Before writing, you have to structure it. You can organize your content chronologically, thematically, methodologically, or theoretically. Then draw up your outline or plan of review. Make a clear line of arguments. Decide on headings and subheadings. Break it up. Make it easy to navigate. Because if your flow is not right, it will be very difficult to understand. And then you cannot convince the reader about the rationale of your study and the subsequent objectives and other things. So that is very important. Cross-referencing, because now you have actually taken up information from more than 100 sources. which information is from which source. Because if you are not citing or referring the authors of the particular work properly, then you are actually plagiarizing it. And plagiarism is a crime, is a scientific crime. So keep everything connected, cross-refer everything. Now write a first draft. Perfection is not the objective in the first draft. There's no one, I don't see any of us or the experts can write their manuscript perfectly in first draft. Some of them, yes, but I can say that 80 to 90% of researchers cannot write the perfect manuscript at first draft. So when you are writing your first draft, perfection is not the objective. Integrate what the others see. Attribute sources. Connect ideas using pointing word, transitions, and conjunctive adverbs. Place your research in the debate. Open a gap or expose a gap in the literature. Once you've done that, leave it for some time, then again come back. Come back. Now you can do first thing, proper citations and referencing. Ask someone to read to understand the flaw and strength. Give it to someone who is novice, because sometimes the experts understand things so well even if they are not written properly. So it's very good to take help of your younger sibling or someone in your friend circle who is not from your discipline or not doing the same research. Once you get that ये तो समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है, ये समझ आ रहा है, so you will get some feedback. So redraft after the feedback. Once you have redrafted it, then you go and take help to the seniors, guides, and experts. With their experts' comments, modify and implement. Now we are ready with the good draft of our review of literature or literature review. Now what? I have to cite it everything, and there are so many things to cite. Somebody can help me, yes. If I have to cite something here, I can go to Zotero. When I go to Zotero, I can add citations with the help of this icon. When you click it, we see this coming up, and this will help us selecting the way in which we are trying to. There are n number of citation styles. So which citation style we want to choose, we can choose it. Here you can see that in blue it is Vancouver is written. So I am selecting the Vancouver. So there are many others you can select depending on the necessity. Usually if you are a PG student or a PhD student, your university guidelines will give you the citation style. If you are writing it for a publication, then journal editorial team also gives you a guidelines, the author's guidelines, which gives you the in which style they need a citation. Once you've selected the citation, you are ready to cite. We can use the single source citation also, multiple source citation and on. Then using the Zotero, I can cite. Once I can cite the literature, you can see that I have now cited everything. Once I've cited everything, now what next? I have to write the bibliography or references. What to do? Do I have to write all these 50 references by my own, or 70 references by my own, or 200 references by my own? That's a big thing. What I can do is just go to the end of the document where you wish to add references or bibliography, right? Then this is an icon which says edit or add bibliography. Click it and you have your bibliography written. All the 9 articles which I have quoted are here. Right? Now what? Now my review of literature is final, it's completed, right? What is the final thing? Final thing is you should always unlink the citation. Once after you complete it, unlink the citations so that before submitting to any other place or giving it to someone else. Unlinking also helps you modify your citations also, because sometimes if the metadata in the source is not perfect, you may get literature being cited in a slightly different way and you want to edit it. So unlink it, edit those small things which are there, and now you are ready. Once everything is ready, so I will stop. Before stopping, let's revise the steps. Search the relevant material and article using different methods. Search more than one source. Google Scholar, PubMed, Web of Science, Medline, Scopus, InMed. These are the very many sources which are available for us. We should go with all of them, if not all, at least more than one source, right? Log your information, log all the sources, use reference or citation manager, catalog everything, every article and the publication which you are using, digest the information, synthesize the material, find the gap, because this is really, really important. Find the gap, because finding this gap will lead you to the research question, thereby to the hypothesis and the objective of your research study. Outline your structure and write your review. Last but not the least, be ready to make mistakes, revise, modify, and improve. Thank you for patient listening. Any questions you have, you can ask us